Welcome to our amazing journey. We are Greg and Julie and we got our cats Nelly and Finn with us on our 33-foot sailing boat El Burro. Get ready for a trip filled with beautiful sunsets, clear blue waters and the exciting freedom of life at sea. Our YouTube series is an invitation for you to see the world from our perspective, sharing both the fun and challenges of living without being tied to the land. El Burro is more than just a boat, it's our floating home and we want you to be part of our sea-loving family. Subscribe, like and hit the bell to stay updated on our latest travels. This episode begins in Sant'Antoni de Portmani, Ibiza, where we spent a few peaceful days anchored in this incredibly protected bay. But it was time to leave our safe haven behind and set course for Mallorca. So, we lifted the dinghy, raised the anchor and began our 80 nautical mile journey, an overnight passage ahead of us. Of course, we needed some treats to keep us going on this long sail. As the sun set, the wind died down and we had to fire up the engine. Then it was time for me to take my shift from 9 to 12 while Greg got some sleep. A little update from my side. So it's midnight and I just did my 3-hour shift. And what else can I say? It's still 40 miles to Mallorca. We just turned the engine off. There's a bit of wind now so we can sail again. And I'm going to bed now for 3 hours and I'm going to wake up at 3 in the morning. Good morning. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and we still have 26 miles to go to our destination. All good here, I'm a bit tired. It's also quite cold outside and it's pitch black so you can't see a thing. I cannot even see the moon actually. I can see a lot of stars. Yeah, I cannot see them.
So it's now 7:30, still sailing on the wind, more towards Palma than towards Andrach where we want to go, but let's see, see where we end up.
Rise and shine! It's 10 o'clock now and we're 15 miles from Mallorca. There are a lot of seagulls there, maybe we'll see something, But so far no dolphins, nothing. It's quiet. I think the sea is empty or something, I don't know. As we drew closer to Mallorca, we started noticing more and more branches and logs drifting by the boat. After 22 hours at sea, we made it to Portals. The trip was comfortable with a good balance of sailing and engine time. Upon arrival, Greg had to dive in to attach us to a massive concrete block with a heavy chain. We weren't going anywhere anytime soon. As soon as we were moored, rain started to fall. With all the recent severe floodings in places like Valencia, I thought it might be a good idea to explain you what a Dana storm actually is. They are quite a unique weather event, but they can be incredibly powerful and can have a major impact. So let's break it down. Dana storms get their name from the Spanish acronym DANA, which stands for, basically means isolated depressions at high altitudes. It happens when a pocket of cold air up in the air gets isolated in the atmosphere. That isolated pocket of cold air drops down over warmer air ground, and that's when you get instability in the atmosphere, so that's when things can get intense. Imagine mixing hot and cold water. You then get that swirling churning effect, and that's what happens in the atmosphere too. So a Dana storm, because of the difference of temperature, can lead to extreme rain, strong winds and even hail. So that's why a Dana storm often brings heavy downpours or flash floods, and that happens especially in regions that aren't used to such heavy conditions. Dana storms are most common in late summer and early autumn, when the grounds and seas are still warm. So you have that warm air that then meets that colder, isolated air pocket. Like, it's the perfect setup for storms. Though they are tricky to predict precisely, meteorologists can often spot when the conditions are right for a Dana storm. This can help communities prepare ahead of time, which is a big help when dealing with sudden powerful storms. So in a nutshell, a Dana storm is formed when a bubble of a Dana storm is a type of intense weather formed when a bubble of cold air at high altitude meets the warm air below. These storms remind us just how powerful and unpredictable the weather can be, and why it's so important to understand certain weather patterns. Tucked away on Mallorca's southwest coast, Portals is a little slice of paradise. Surrounded by hills terraced with houses, it may sound like overdevelopment, but in reality it had some sort of charm. We hopped into the dinghy, eager to explore, and took a stroll through the streets to see what this lovely town had to offer. Not everything here is picture perfect. We came across some abandoned apartment blocks, remnants of a development project that was never completed. A mix of legal issues, local opposition and environmental concerns brought the construction to a halt. The decision to stop the project was made to protect the area's natural beauty and prevent overdevelopment. With an easy bus connection to Palma, we decided to spend a day in the city, wandering through the old town and soaking in the sights. Back in Portals, we attended the first edition of the Fira Marinera, The festival featured sport activities, an artisan market and a nautical exhibition, a true celebration of the area's maritime spirit. During our week-long stay, we also enjoyed exploring the surrounding hills, with several scenic hikes that offered stunning views of this beautiful part of Mallorca. San Orlandis. We set off around noon from Portals, feeling optimistic, but it didn't take long to realize this wasn't going to be an easy trip. The sea was restless, and although it's tough to capture on camera, the waves were rough. Poor Finn didn't handle it well and ended up getting seasick, but in the end we made it safely to Santa Ponça, where we anchored. Not long after, Finn was back to his playful self, enjoying the sun and fresh air. While the town of Santa Ponça wasn't exactly a sight to behold, we did discover a beautiful hike nearby, offering stunning views and a peaceful escape from the hustle and bustle of the town. It's calm as we pull the anchor up from the clear waters and fine sand. We hoist the Genoa, and when the wind picks up, we decide to raise the mainsail as well. Our spot at Portals Vells was stunning, with its hidden cave and small beach. We rowed to shore and explored the cave, which holds a fascinating history. So in the 15th century, a sailing ship struck by a hurricane vowed to build a chapel for the Virgin Mary if it reached shore safely. After the storm subsided, the ship was guided to Portals Vells, where the crew took refuge in a cave, placing the Virgin's image and carving an altar into the walls. By the end of the century, a Renaissance-style altar was added bearing the Rocafort family coat of arms. And of course, we went on another hike in the area. The nature here on Mallorca is simply incredible. Next on our list was Palma, where we decided to trade nature for the big city. After a long time, we dusted off our bikes and set out to explore the town, starting with its impressive cathedral. We also had a boat show to take care of, replacing our rusty anchor chain. We picked up some markers to indicate the scope of the chain. Each color represents a different depth. We took out the old chain, swapped it for the new one, and Greg had to splice a line to attach it. Once that was done, we were ready to winch the new chain into our anchor locker. We attached the anchor to the chain and everything was good to go. Later, we went on a bike ride to visit Castell de Bellver. The stunning castle, perched on a hill just outside the city centre, was built in the 14th century by King Jaume II of Mallorca. It's one of the few circular castles in Europe and has served as a royal residence, a prison and a military depot over the centuries. Today, it's a museum where you can learn more about the history of Palma and Mallorca. And on Sundays, the entry is free. That weekend, the Christmas lights were turned on in Palma. We went to the ceremony, but I think Greg's reaction pretty much sums up how it went.
It was weird.
See you next time!